English Literature Form 2, a Haiku Yearbook, a lesson from 3rd midterm. Learning Objectives. Students will understand and appreciate how literary texts reflect on life and ideas in different contexts. Students can engage with literary texts which deal with aesthetic, personal, emotional aspects related to nature. And it will help the students to develop the ability to keep an open mind and allow them to become more creative, innovative and critical. And also students learn from different cultures and understand how literature portrays different ways of living. And finally, students can understand the different layers of meanings and how these meanings are conveyed about a literary text when you read it. We'll see what is a haiku poem. A haiku is traditionally a Japanese poem consisting of 3 short lines that do not rhyme. The origins of haiku poems can be traced back as far as the 9th century. A haiku is considered to be more than a type of a poem. It is a way of looking at the physical world and seeing something deeper, like the existence of nature. It should leave the reader with a strong feeling or impression. Take a look at the following examples of traditional and modern haiku poems to see what they mean. Now children, you can see a sample of haiku. Let's read out the poem. A fat bee stings me. It hurts very badly, but I do not cry though. Ladybugs are red and have black spots on their wings, experts at flying. The bee flies quickly, it turns round and stings me, then falls to the ground. Moths go flying by, they are beautiful, fluttering around. Now in this haiku poem, you can see they are bound by nature. So here the poet used some symbols related to the environment. They are fat bees, ladybug, the bee and the moths. These all creatures are related to nature. Haiku poems consist of 3 lines. Then it shows what, when, where technique is the most basic one for writing a haiku. Another strong technique is to take 2 distinct images and put them together in the poem. This is called the juxtaposition technique. The purpose of the technique is to express a certain relationship between 2 images that lead to a certain realization or understanding. Here is the haiku poem. Snow in January, looking for ledges to hide in unmelted. February evening, a cold puddle of petrol makes its own rainbow. According to the haiku calendar, in January, it is very cold and breezy. Snow is a good symbol taken by the poet. Now in these first 3 lines, you can see snow is a great symbol and ledges also we can take as visual imagery. Now the first 3 lines are also connected with nature. Now we'll see what happens in February. In February, there are cold puddles of mud. This ironically shows us the watery puddles on the roads. Now after the rain, we can see some of the watery puddles on the roads. Now poet take it as a visual imagination. When the sun shines brightly throughout the day, those puddles shines like a rainbow. Wind in March, no leaves left for its stiff summers. April sunlight, even the livid bricks muted a little. Here comes March. So there are no leaves left. Why? Because the days are too hard and windy. So these beautiful trees cannot bear the odors of the wind. Now can you imagine what are the poetry devices used by the poet here? The season is autumn. Here the two distinct images join together, wind and the leaves. So which means autumn and the wind. So it is called as juxtaposition. So it is also a poetry device used by the poet. What about April? Even the strong bricks get muted. It's the summer period. So none of them cannot be smoother like before. Even the bricks get muted because of the sunshine. Wasp in May, storing his venom for a long summer. Morning in June, on the sea's horizon, a white island alone. July evening, saw reek of beer, warm by the river. Here comes May in haiku calendar. What's the specialty in May? There are so many wasps. So these insects are very busy in storing their stocks for a long summer. Now here, wasps are common in nature. But in a haiku poem, these creatures are highlighted. Now for an example, like ants, those who are storing foods for the rainy season. So here, wasps are storing foods for summer. In August, we can identify a calm environment with no sounds. So poet pays his attention to a squirrel leaps on a tree. August morning, a squirrel leaps and only one branch moves. September chestnuts falling too early, split white before birth. October garden, at the top of the tree, a thrush stabs an apple. What do you think about the August morning? In an August morning, a squirrel leaps and only one branch moves. This is a good visual imagination. Nobody is there but only the squirrel. So the environment is very calm and quiet. Here comes the month of September with chestnuts. They are coming too early. They split white before birth. In October garden, in a top of a tree, a thrush is eating an apple. It signifies the happiness of the animals in the environment. We have come to the last 2 months of the haiku calendar. November morning, a whiff of cordite caught in the leaf mold. Sun in December, in his box of straw, the tortoise wakes. In November morning comes with a puff of cordite. It is molding due to a smoke transition. Now here, most of the trees are affected with the polluted smoke. So even the leaves get molded. Finally, in December, the tortoise awakes after a long sleep. Now, December is the last month of the haiku calendar. So, it represents a sleeping tortoise. So, that is ironical. We can take it as a verbal irony because sleeping tortoise represents that he is preparing himself for the next year. So this poem is all about nature. The opening lines and the ending lines are also exaggerates with nature. Now next we move on to haiku literary devices. Now you can see the devices. The first one is alliteration. Now I think you all know what is alliteration. What do you mean by alliteration? It's a method of making effect with the sounds. So if there are repeating of the same consonant sounds, we can take those words as alliteration. And the second one is personification. I think you are very familiar with that. Personification means in most poems, unliving things are taken as living things. That means they are given life. For an example, trees, flowers, if they are talking, we can take it as living things. So that is called as personification. And the next one is about qualifiers. If the poet used adjectives and adverbs to make the poem more interesting, we can take it as qualifiers. And puns represent the humorous lines or verses included in a poem. So that is also can be taken under haiku. And the rhymes giving you a nice flow and a rhythm. There are two types of rhymes, that means rhyming scheme that we taken as A, B pattern, and also there are rhyming words. So all we can categorize as rhymes. But haiku poems does not contain a rhyming scheme. Then we move on to metaphors. What are metaphors? Metaphors is a thing is spoken of as being that which is only resembles. It is compared to one another. Then the last one is a simile. Simile is very easy. You can easily identify a simile. That means simile start with the word like or as. That means compared to one thing to another. So these are the haiku literary devices you can see in a poem. Now children, this is a homework for you. That means you have to make a spring haiku worksheet. Now there are some words you can see in the word bank. So try to create a nice haiku poem using these words in the bank. You can use your own word list too. So make a nice haiku poem. Here you can see some of the references you can study. Thank you for listening.